There comes a point in life when we all realize something important. No one is coming to live our life for us. No one is coming to make every decision easy. No one is coming to remove every fear. No one is coming to hand us confidence, discipline, purpose, or peace fully formed and ready to use. And at first, that can feel heavy. But when you sit with it long enough, it becomes one of the most freeing truths you will ever hear. Because if no one else can live your life for you, then no one else gets to define it for you either. Your life is still yours, not perfect, not finished, not ruined, and not too late, not beyond repair, yours. And that means today, right now, wherever you are, whatever has happened, you still have the ability to take one step forward. Not 10 steps, not a complete transformation overnight, not a dramatic reinvention that makes everyone clap. Just one step, because life rarely changes in one giant leap. More often, it changes quietly. It changes when a person wakes up and decides, I am not giving up on myself today. It changes when someone chooses patience instead of panic. It changes when someone keeps going even though no one sees the effort. It changes when someone takes responsibility without attacking themselves. It changes when someone finally understands that progress does not need to be loud to be real. A lot of people wait for motivation before they begin. They say, when I feel ready, I'll start. When I feel confident, I'll try. When life calms down, I'll focus. When I know exactly what to do, I'll move. But readiness is not always a feeling. Sometimes readiness is a decision. You do not become strong by waiting until everything is easy. You become strong by learning how to move while things are still uncertain. You do not build confidence by avoiding discomfort. You build confidence by proving to yourself, little by little, that discomfort does not control you. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is the memory of all the times you acted while fear was still in the room. So do not be discouraged if you still feel nervous. Do not think you are failing because you still doubt yourself sometimes. Doubt is not proof that you are weak. Fear is not proof that you are incapable. Anxiety is not proof that you are going in the wrong direction. Sometimes fear simply means you are standing at the edge of growth, and growth can be uncomfortable. Think about how many times in your life you faced something you thought you could not handle. At the time, it may have felt impossible. It may have felt too big, too painful, too confusing, too unfair. But somehow you got through it. Maybe you did not get through it perfectly. Maybe you made mistakes. Maybe you cried. Maybe you broke down. Maybe you had to ask for help. Maybe you came out changed, but you came through. That matters. Too often we forget our own evidence. We remember every failure, every awkward moment, every rejection, every time we fell short. But we forget the times we survived. We forget the times we adapted. We forget the times we showed courage in silence. We forget the mornings we got up when we did not want to. We forget the days we kept going with a heavy heart. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience. Every challenge you have faced has taught you something. Some lessons were painful. Some lessons arrived in ways you did not ask for. Some lessons may have cost you relationships, time, money, or peace. But even those experiences can become part of your foundation if you choose to learn from them rather than be trapped by them. That does not mean pretending everything was fine. Being positive does not mean lying to yourself. Real positivity is not standing in a storm and saying, there is no rain. Real positivity is standing in the storm and saying, this rain is real, but so is my ability to keep walking. That is the kind of positivity that lasts, not fake happiness, not forced smiles, not pretending pain does not exist, but grounded hope. The belief that even if today is hard, tomorrow can still be shaped. The belief that even if you made mistakes, you can still grow. The belief that even if your past was messy, your future does not have to be a copy of it. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that their past is a prison. It is not. Your past is a chapter. It may explain some things, but it does not have to command everything. It may have influenced your habits, your fears, your expectations, and your patterns. But awareness gives you choice, and choice gives you power. Maybe you were once the person who gave up easily. You can become someone who tries again. Maybe you were once the person who avoided hard conversations. You can become someone who speaks with honesty and calm. Maybe you were once the person who said yes to everyone and no to yourself. You can become someone with boundaries. Maybe you were once the person who waited for approval. You can become someone who respects their own judgment. Growth is not about hating who you used to be. It is about understanding that the old version of you was doing the best they could with what they knew, what they had, and what they believed at the time. You do not have to shame that version of yourself. You can thank them for getting you this far and then decide to lead your life differently from here. That is maturity. Not self-hatred, not regret on repeat, not punishment disguised as discipline. Maturity is the ability to say, I understand why I was that way, but I am choosing something better now. And choosing better does not have to be dramatic. Sometimes better is going to bed earlier. Sometimes better is drinking more water. Sometimes better is walking away from an argument that only wants to become a fire. Sometimes better is applying for the job. Sometimes better is apologizing. Sometimes better is not apologizing for having a boundary. Sometimes better is cleaning one corner of the room. Sometimes better is sending the message. Sometimes better is deleting the message before you send it. Small choices matter because small choices repeated become identity. You are not only what you say you want. You are what you repeatedly practice. If you practice avoidance, avoidance becomes familiar. If you practice discipline, discipline becomes familiar. If you practice gratitude, gratitude becomes easier to find. If you practice courage, courage becomes more available. If you practice self-respect, disrespect becomes harder to tolerate. This is why your daily habits are so important. Not because you need to become perfect. Perfection is a trap. It keeps good people frozen because they believe anything less than flawless is failure. But life is not asking you to be flawless. Life is asking you to participate, to show up, to learn, to adjust, to keep becoming. A person who takes imperfect action will usually go further than a person who waits for the perfect plan. You do not need the perfect morning routine to begin improving your life. You do not need the perfect body, perfect bank account, perfect relationship, perfect mindset, or perfect timing. You need honesty. Honesty about where you are. Honesty about what is working. Honesty about what is not. Honesty about what you keep avoiding. Honesty about what you truly want. And then you need movement. Because clarity often comes after movement, not before it. You may not know the whole path. That is okay. Most people do not. Most people are figuring things out while walking. The idea that everyone else has life perfectly mapped out is one of the great illusions. Many of the people you admire are still uncertain sometimes. They still have doubts. They still have days when they question themselves. The difference is not that they never feel lost. The difference is that they have learned not to build a home in that feeling. Feeling lost is allowed. Staying lost without making any effort to move is where life becomes smaller. So ask yourself, what is one step I can take today? Not the step that fixes everything. Not the step that impresses everyone. Not the step that makes the whole mountain disappear. Just the next honest step. Maybe it is making a plan. Maybe it is asking for advice. Maybe it is resting properly because you are burned out. Maybe it is forgiving yourself. Maybe it is accepting that someone else cannot be who you needed them to be. Maybe it is taking your health seriously. Maybe it is learning a skill. Maybe it is saving a small amount of money. Maybe it is choosing not to speak to yourself like an enemy. That last one matters more than many people realize. The voice you use with yourself becomes the climate of your life. If your inner voice is constantly cruel, no achievement will feel safe. You will reach a goal and immediately move the line. You will succeed and still feel behind. You will make progress and still call yourself useless because you are not finished yet. But you are allowed to encourage yourself. That does not make you arrogant. That does not make you soft. That does not mean you are ignoring your flaws. It means you understand that people grow better with encouragement than with constant attack. You can hold yourself accountable without destroying yourself. You can say, I need to do better, without saying, I am worthless. You can say, that was a mistake, without saying, I am a failure. You can say, I am still learning, without using it as an excuse to stay the same. Self-compassion and responsibility are not enemies. In fact, they work best together. Responsibility gives you direction. Self-compassion gives you the strength to keep going. When you combine them, you stop wasting energy on shame and start using energy for change. And that is important, because your energy is valuable. You cannot give your best life to everything. Some things deserve your attention, some things do not. Some people are worth your time. Some people drain it. Some battles are meaningful. Some are just noise dressed up as urgency. Part of growth is learning the difference. You do not need to attend every argument you are invited to. You do not need to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You do not need to shrink so others can feel comfortable. You do not need to carry responsibilities that were never yours to carry. Peace often begins when you stop volunteering for chaos. And sometimes choosing peace will disappoint people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. That is okay. You are not here to be convenient for everyone. You are here to live with integrity. Integrity means your actions begin to match your values. It means you stop performing a life that looks acceptable and start building a life that feels honest. It means you choose what is right over what is easy, at least more often than you used to. It means you become someone you can trust. And that may be one of the most powerful goals in life, becoming someone you can trust. When you say you will do something, you try to do it. When you fall short, you tell the truth. When you make a mistake, you repair what you can. When you need help, you ask. When you need rest, you stop pretending you are a machine. When you have a dream, you treat it with respect instead of burying it under excuses. Trusting yourself is built through repeated evidence. Every promise you keep to yourself is a brick. Every hard thing you face honestly is a brick. Every time you choose the long-term good over the short-term escape, that is a brick. Eventually, you build something solid. Not overnight, not without setbacks, not without moments where you wonder whether it is working. But slowly, steadily, you build. And when setbacks come, because they will, you do not have to treat them as the end. A setback is not a final sentence. It is information. It may tell you that your plan needs adjusting. It may tell you that your pace was unsustainable. It may tell you that your environment is not supporting your growth. It may tell you that you need more preparation, more support, more patience, or more courage. But it does not tell you that you are done. You are allowed to begin again, as many times as necessary. There is no shame in beginning again. There is only wisdom in refusing to stay somewhere that is not helping you become who you are capable of becoming. So begin again with less drama and more determination. Begin again without announcing it to everyone. Begin again without needing applause. Begin again without waiting for Monday, next month, or a new year. Begin again because your life is worth the effort. And please remember this: your progress may not look impressive from the outside. Some of the most important victories are invisible, not reacting the way you used to, choosing rest instead of burnout, having the difficult conversation, leaving the unhealthy situation, trying again after rejection, staying calm when you could have exploded, being honest when lying would have been easier, getting through a day that once would have broken you. Those are victories. Respect them. Do not measure your entire life by external milestones alone. Titles, money, recognition, and achievements can matter, but they are not the whole story. A successful life also includes peace, character, courage, love, health, purpose, and the ability to look in the mirror without abandoning yourself. You are allowed to want more, but do not forget to appreciate how far you have already come. Gratitude is not complacency. Gratitude does not mean you stop striving. It means you stop treating your current life as worthless just because it is not yet complete. You can be grateful and ambitious at the same time. You can say, I am proud of how far I have come, and also say, I am ready to grow further. That balance is powerful. Because when ambition is not grounded in gratitude, it can become endless hunger. Nothing is enough. Every success feels temporary. every comparison becomes painful. But when ambition grows from gratitude, it becomes healthier. You are not chasing growth because you hate yourself. You are pursuing growth because you respect your potential, and you do have potential. Not a vague, magical potential that requires everything to go perfectly. Real potential, human potential. The kind built through effort, learning, discipline, humility, and resilience. You may not become everything you once imagined in exactly the way you imagined it. Life changes, people change, dreams evolve, but that does not mean the future is empty. Sometimes the life waiting for you is not the one you originally pictured. Sometimes it is better suited to the person you are becoming. So stay open, stay willing to learn, stay willing to be surprised, stay willing to outgrow old definitions of yourself. You are not required to remain the same person just because other people got used to you that way. You can change. You can become calmer. You can become stronger. You can become kinder. You can become more disciplined. You can become more confident. You can become more focused. You can become more honest. You can become more alive. But becoming requires participation. So participate in your own life. Do not just wait for things to improve. Invest in the improvement. Read the book, make the call, take the walk, start the course, have the conversation, create the plan, clean the space, save the money, ask the question, set the boundary, take the chance. And when it feels overwhelming, return to the simplest truth. One step forward. That is all. You do not have to carry the next 10 years today. You do not have to solve every problem by sunset. You do not have to become a completely different person before you are allowed to feel hope. Just take one step forward, then another, then another. And one day you will look back and realize that the small steps were not small at all. They were the path. They were the bridge between who you were and who you became. They were the quiet proof that you did not give up. So today, choose to believe that your effort matters. Choose to believe that change is possible. Choose to believe that your story is still being written. Choose to believe that you are allowed to grow beyond survival and into purpose. Choose to believe that even after difficulty, disappointment, failure, or fear, there is still something good ahead. Because there is. You are not finished. You are not stuck forever. You are not defined by your worst day, your hardest season, your biggest mistake, or someone else's limited opinion of you. You are a person in progress, and progress is enough to begin with. So breathe, stand where you are, look honestly at your life, then take the next step, not because it is easy, because you are worth the effort. And from this moment forward, let that be the promise you keep. I will not abandon myself. I will not wait for perfect conditions. I will not let fear make every decision. I will learn. I will adjust. I will keep going. I will take one step forward, again and again and again.